Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening, everyone. Last week we talked about three type of action, right? 3 bodily actions and 4 verbal actions and 3 mental actions. So I also want to quote one sutta from Majjhima Nikaya. We call it Bāla paṇḍita Sutta. Bāla paṇḍita Sutta, the fool and the wise. In Mangala Sutta, we have asevana cha bālanan, paṇḍitanan cha sevana, right? Not to associate with the fool and to associate with the wise, right? So when you study Mangala Sutta, you may not know how we define the fool and the wise. So I think just look at this sutta. So in that sutta, the Buddha clearly defined who is the fool, what type of person is the fool, and what type of person is the wise. Very beautiful. And the Buddha said that bhikkhus, there are these 3 characteristics of a fool. Signs of a fool, attributes of a fool. 3 characteristics. The Buddha said that. Here, a fool is one who thinks bad thought, speaks bad words, and does bad deeds. Very simple, right? We talk about bodily, verbal, and mental actions. So, if somebody is thinking unwholesome thought, and if somebody is using unwholesome speeches, if somebody is doing unwholesome deed, that person is a fool. A monk or a nun can be a fool, right? A parents, children can be a fool. Anyone, right? Anyone. Maybe, I think only the Buddha and Arahant, they can be the wise, right? They can be the wise. Maybe Nuratana as well. Because Nuratana, they don't have any attachment to sensual pleasures, right? No anger. Even Sotapanna still have unwholesome thought, right? So therefore, I think when you look at this sutta, we can define who is the fool. Somebody who thinks bad things, speaks bad words, and does bad deeds. It's called a fool. Opposite one is the wise. Bhikkhu, the Buddha said, bhikkhus. So there are these 3 characteristics of a wise man. Signs of a wise man, attributes of a wise man. What 3? Here, a wise man is one who thinks good thought, speaks good words, and does good deed. The wise man. Your children can be the wise man, and devotee can be a wise man. It doesn't depend on what you wear, what is your status, right? It depends on your bodily, verbal, and mental actions. Very beautiful, right? Very beautiful. So actually, this is teachings of the Buddha, in other words, right? In other words. Also, I want to quote one more sutta from Sutta Nibbedhika, Vasala Sutta. So this sutta is added into chanting book, in our chanting book. I think some of you may notice. So we chant Vasala Sutta. In one of the full moon or new moon day, we chant this sutta. So in that sutta, the Buddha talk about Vasala, an outcast person, So I like this one. It talk about theory of karma, theory of action, theory of karma. One is not an outcast by birth, nor by birth is one a Brahmin. By action, one becomes an outcast. By action, one becomes a Brahmin. Beautiful, very beautiful, You may notice even today in India, so we have an outcast, even untouchable, right? Even untouchable. So they become untouchable, an outcast by birth, according to Indian philosophy or way of thinking. Even today, when you were born from outcast parents, you automatically became an outcast. But according to Buddha, one is not an outcast by birth. As you know that in India we have four classes, right? One, Brahmin. Brahmin is considered as a holy man, holy man. And one is ruling class, like the king, or actually tomorrow will be presidential election, right? Presidential election. It's right. It's according with the Buddha, right? The president will be elected by the people by looking at his action, right? His actions, whether he is a good man or bad man, whether he is honest person or dishonest person. People will decide, It's according with the Buddha, Presidential election. But in some country, you become the head of the country by birth, like a king, right? Like a king. Whether you're a good man or bad man, it doesn't matter. It's not in accordance with the Buddha, right? So you may notice that where the Buddha was born, Sakya kingdom, the head of the country was elected. No, the head of the country was elected. They have a parliament system. So therefore, the Buddha opposed theory of four classes, right? One is the Brahmin, second one is the ruling class, and another one is the businessman, and the last one is an outcast. So even some people say that there is untouchable. If you touch that person, you became, unlucky, or you became dirty, like that. So therefore the Buddha said that. The theory of karma in Buddhism. By birth is not, one is not a Brahmin by birth, By action, you became an outcast. You became very low person. By action, you become a Brahmin. You become holy man. Right? Holy man. You can see his Holiness Dalai Lama, right? He was chosen. He was a Yaman from remote area. He was born in a normal family, poor family. He was chosen as a Dalai Lama. Because of his practice, he became a holy man, no? Not because of his path, according to Buddhism. That's very important concept. By action here means three types of action: bodily action, verbal action, and mental action, right? Mental action. So we have one interesting story from Digha Nikaya, Sonadanda Sutta. I think many of you know Sonadanda Sutta. Digha Nikaya Sutta number 4 or 5. Sorry, I forgot. In that Sutta, Sonadanda Brahmin, Brahmin are considered as a higher class in India. So, Sonadanda Brahmin is he is the leader in that area. He was chief, like a prime minister in that area. So the Buddha visit there. When the Buddha visit, he want to see the Buddha, because the Buddha is well known as an Arahant, Sammasambuddha, and Bhagava, etc. So he went to go and visit. But his disciples doesn't want him to visit because you are a holy man, Brahmin. If you approach Gautama Buddha, it's not appropriate. Not appropriate. So Gautama Buddha should come to you. But Sonadana Brahmin, willing to visit the Buddha. So therefore, instead of, objection from his disciples, so he visit the Buddha. So on the way, he thought that he was a cheap Brahmin in that area. For that reason, he worried that if Gautama Buddha asks the question, if I cannot answer, it will be a shame to me. So that is his thinking. Then when he arrived, then the Buddha asked the question, Brahmin Sonadanda, what are the criteria of a Brahmin? Criteria of a Brahmin. And Sonadanda became very happy. For him, that question is very easy, He happily answered, there are 5 criteria of a Brahmin. So the first one is appearance. A Brahmin must be handsome, the first one. Second one is a Brahmin must learn the Veda, 3 Veda, expert in 3 Veda. Second. And third, a Brahmin must born from a good family. That means Brahmin family from 7 families, 7 generations. And the fourth one, a Brahmin must be virtuous, Sīla, morality, must have a immoral conduct. And the last one, a Brahmin must be learned and wise. So you noted the last 2, morality, Sīla, and wisdom, Paṇña. The other 3, the first one, appearance, must be handsome. Second one, must be expert in Veda, in the Vedic literature. And third one, must was born from a good family, from the Brahmin family. Then the Buddha asked second question. The Brahmin, there are 5 criteria of a Brahmin. Can you reduce one factor? If by reducing one factor, can you still call a Brahmin? Then Brahmin Sonadana said that, yes, I can reduce. Which one? Appearance. Even though a Brahmin is not handsome, if he still have another 4 factors, we can call him a Brahmin. And the Buddha asked another question. Brahmin Sonadana, can you reduce another one more? Then Sonadana Brahmin said that, yes, I can still reduce another one. Expert in the Veda literature. Even though a person do not expert in the Vedic literature, the Veda, their literatures, we can still can call him a Brahmin. Now you have only 3, right? Only 3. So that means a good rebirth in the Brahmin family, the morality and wisdom. And the Buddha asked another question. Sonadana, can you reduce another one more? one more factor. Then the other Brahmin, so told the Brahmin Sonadana, Brahmin Sonadana, I think you shouldn't answer this question. Then the Sonadana Brahmin said that, how to say, shut up, like a kind of shut up, Don't say, I am your teacher, I will talk to him. Because they make noise, They make noise. We still have only 3, right? We have only 3. If you reduce another one, so that means a person, even though he is not was born in a Brahmin family, can be called a Brahmin. Then the Buddha asked, can you reduce another one? Yes, we can reduce a birth in the Brahmin family. There's only 2 more, moral conduct and learned and wisdom, right? Then, other Brahmin, they make noise, because if you remove, a rebirth in the Brahmin family, then you cannot call as a Brahmin, right? Call a Brahmin. But Sonadana, as a wise man, he said that no. If you have a moral conduct, then if you have a wisdom, we can call him a Brahmin. Then Sonadana Brahmin taught to his disciples. Then I will give you one example. Actually, Sonadana Brahmin is talking to his disciples. I will give you an example. My niece, as a Brahmin, he is handsome, number 1, he's handsome. He is well-versed in the Veda literature, and he was born in a Brahmin family. Actually, his birth is very pure. If my nephew is doing unwholesome things, behaving, misconduct behavior, can we call him a Brahmin? No. Somebody who has a bad conduct cannot call him Brahmin. So therefore, Sonadana Brahmin said that we have only 2 more quality. If you have a 2 quality, we can call him a Brahmin. What are the 2 qualities? Number 1, a good conduct, morality, Sīla. Then another one is paṇḍita, learned and wise. If you have a 2 quality, we can call it a Brahmin. Then the Buddha asked another question. Sonadana, can you reduce one more factor or one more quality? Sonadana said, no, you cannot reduce one more quality. So, actually, when you look at Sonadana Sutta, I think we will know the importance of action, right? We are not a Brahmin by birth. We can call a Brahmin holy man by our action. You cannot call holy man by looking at the rope, right? By looking at the rope. If a monk or a nun is doing unwholesome things, we cannot call him a holy man. or a Brahmin, right? The Buddha said by action, by action. So in Sonarana Sutta, the Buddha continued to say that, yes, you cannot reduce two qualities, moral conduct and wisdom. So moral conduct is purified by wisdom. And in the same way, wisdom is your learned and wise quality is purified by moral conduct. So Sīla and Paṇḍita go hand in hand. So you cannot reduce. You cannot reduce. So therefore, when you look at this Sutta, Vasala Sutta, I like this particular verse. One is not an outcast by birth, or one is not a Brahmin by birth, by action. One became an outcast, a bad person. By action, one became a holy man. Very beautiful. Okay, now I want to talk about what is Kamma, theory of Kamma. Because now we already learned 10 causes of unwholesome deed and also 10 causes of wholesome deed. So now it's time to talk about Kamma. But we have a lot of, misunderstanding or misinterpretation about Kamma. So I want to clear some of them. Earlier lesson, do you have any question? Do you have any question? No, right? Okay. Oh, you ask. Okay.
With regards to the earlier slide, Bhante, on the full descriptions about the fool, if one only has a bad thought, but without translating it into actions, bad actions or bad speech, is it still considered a fool?
Yeah.
This is referring to someone like he has anger inside, but then he managed to control the way he speaks and act.
Yeah, of course. We can still call him a fool. Of course, you are slightly degree. You see, how do you see? So therefore, even according to this context, actually, I might say that Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahant, they are the wise one. Because when you look at Bāla paṇḍita Sutta, the Buddha talk about 10 causes of unwholesome actions, right? If somebody becomes Sotapanna, he no longer do, killing, stealing, etc. If you look at Bāla paṇḍita Sutta, if somebody become noble individual, Ariya Pogala, they become, I would say, the wise one. Other people, as a Buddha, we may still have unwholesome thought. If you have unwholesome thought, then it is one character, right? One character, one sign to be called a foolish man. Okay, no question. Then let's continue. Now I want to talk about what is Kamma. So the word Kamma literally means action, or your deed, or your work. So that means actions, 3 types of action: bodily, verbal, and mental actions. So when you look at some of the reference in the Pali, we have a Kamma. So the work of famine, or the action of famine. Cūḻakamma, actually we are always using this one, right? Cūḻakamma, the act of showing respect to someone. We do Cūḻakamma, right? That means the act of showing respect to the person. So the word Kamma literally means action. So it is called Kamma in Sanskrit. So here it's called in karma in Sanskrit. So the word karma in Sanskrit is added into Wisdom Dictionary. When you want to know about theory of karma, you can find using this one. You have more definition, more articles. When you use the word karma, of course, you can also find. Because Mahayanas, they are more powerful. Now, when we are using ChatGPT, ChatGPT, if you want to know something in Buddhism, material are mostly done by Mahayana writers. So they are very powerful, and they have a lot of materials. So if you find theory of karma by using the word karma, it's much better. Of course, if you want to know pure Theravada teaching, then you can find the word karma. So, accurate Buddhist definition of karma is the volition behind our actions. The volition, motivation behind our action. That's very important. So we have to look at our motivation, your motivation, right? Your motivation. So therefore, Cetana, the Buddha's Cetana actually here, we can translate as a volition or motivation. Tibetan, they prefer to translate motivation. And also you can see intention. So we have to look at your intention, your motivation, when you're talking something, right? When you are asking question, Maybe some people may ask question, maybe they want to challenge, or maybe. Actually in my class, no such students, lucky, So actually it's quite natural. Some people want to, how to say that, inquire the quality of a teacher. Or maybe some people want to make difficulty, right? So if you are asking question, intention, or motivation is very important. So normally I welcome everyone to ask question, whether they are challenging or making me difficult, it doesn't matter. Of course, there are very few, very few. There are some. Actually, here asking question very important. Here I want to highlight again. By asking question, you point out what I should say, or maybe that subject may other people also want to know. Good. Okay, so regarding with volition or motivation, the Buddha said in one of the Sutta from Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said, it is volition, cetana, bhikkhus, that I call kamma. For having motivated one act by body, speech and mind. So every action is not called kamma. The motivation behind your action, right? Sometimes you may speak something by slip of the tongue, right? Sometimes you may do something without any bad intention or a good intention. It's not called kamma. Sometimes you may kill an insect on your way back home, like that, right? It's not called kamma. Kamma is not an energy or force in the universe or somewhere else that exists outside of an individual. You may notice that some people say we are connected one another. Our soul is connected with the universe like that, like a universe is soul. So the karma is not outside of yourself or an individual. Rather, it is an aspect of the mind, an factor of the mind. So when you look at earlier suttas, quite clear, right? Bodily actions. The motivation behind your bodily actions, motivation behind your verbal actions and mental actions. That's called karma. Not outside of an individual. It is an aspect of your mind, right? An aspect of your mind. It is a psychological mechanism, a way the mind works. We are doing something with our body. We are speaking by using our mouth. We are thinking. It's psychological mechanism, behind our actions. So basically, 10 unwholesome karma, akusala karma, and 10 wholesome karma, kusala karma, are called kamma. So we have 10 causes of unwholesome actions, right? We have already learned. We have 10 causes of wholesome actions. Simply, it's called kamma. Basically. Another definition in Paṭṭhāna, according to commentaries that define dependent origination, any form of volitional actions, any form of actions done with ignorance and craving are called kamma. So we call it mundane volition or mundane karma, lokiya chetana, lokiya karma, mundane one. If you are doing something, whether good or a bad, kusala or akusala karma, if you are doing based on ignorance, avijja, not knowing the truth, and based on craving, tanha, it's called karma. You see that Arahant and the Buddha, Pachika Buddha, they no longer have ignorance and craving. For that reason, whatever they do, it is not called karma. So when Arahant and the Buddha, they no longer have ignorance and craving. So therefore, their actions are not called karma. We have one word in Abhiahmma, we call it kriya, right? Functional consciousness. So therefore, according to Abhiahmma, the Buddha and Arahant, they do not do any karma. So they are doing based on alopa, adosa, amoha. They no longer have ignorance and craving. So therefore, according to Abhiahmma, we always say that the actions of the Buddha and Arahant are not called karma. But we use the word kriya. Actually, in the suttas, the word kamma, the word kriya, both terms indicate actions. Same, The Buddha is Kammavadi, the Buddha is Kriyavadi. But the Buddha is the speaker of actions. Both Kamma and Kriya indicate the same meaning. But when it go to Abhiahmma, so the word Kamma and the word Kriya became different. So the actions of the Buddha and Arahant, they are called Kriya. The actions of Puṭṭhājana, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Anagami. So their actions are called Kamma, right? Kamma. It's according to dependent origination. So this one a little bit complicated, but I will give you a very simple definition of Kamma. According to Paṭṭhāna, the 7 Abhiahmma texts mention 2 types of Kamma. Here, also Abhiahmma, Paṭṭhāna is the 7 Abhiahmma texts. The 7th Abhiahmma text mention 2 types of Kamma. So the first one, the past Kamma. Whatever action, what you have done in the past, called past Kamma. Synchronous Kamma. Then present Kamma. The action, what you are doing right now, is called present Kamma. We are teaching, we are learning. Motivation behind our action right now is called present Kamma. Clear, very clear, right? Because we normally ascribe to past Kamma. Whatever happened in our life, because of our past Kamma, we always think in such a way. It's a wrong view, it's a wrong view. No. Of course, you may have a past Kamma, you also have a present Kamma. If you are unlucky, you can change it by using present Kamma, right? If you are poor, you can change it by using present Kamma. Very beautiful, very beautiful. So now I think you understand what is Kamma, right? What is Kamma? Kamma simply means the motivation or volition behind your 3 types of Kamma, 3 types of actions. 1, motivation behind your bodily action, and number 2, motivation behind your verbal action. Number 3, the motivation behind your mental actions. Very simple, right? But just trying to remember these 2, past Kamma and present Kamma. There's no future Kamma, according to Abhiahmma. It's very beautiful. I like this one, this definition. Okay, now let's talk about the result of Kamma. The result of Kamma. So I will use the suttas, Nibbedhika, so the same sutta. The same sutta. What is the result of Kamma? The Buddha asked the question and the Buddha answered himself. And what is the result of Kamma? The Buddha asked by himself and he said, so the result of Kamma, I say, is threefold. Number 1, to be experienced in this very life. In this very life. Number 2, to be experienced in your next life. Number 3, to be experienced in subsequent occasion. It can be in your future life, many future life, until you attain final Nibbana. Until you attain final Nibbana. So 3 types of the result of Kamma. The result of Kamma that you experience in this life, and second one is in your next life, next rebirth, and the last one is the result of Kamma that you will experience in subsequent occasion. Seem to be very simple, right? Very simple. The result of Kamma. Very simple. Abhiahmma trying to add one more, the result of Kamma. Okay, the first one is immediate effective Kamma. That means your Kamma will give rise the effect in this life right away. And second one is subsequently effective Kamma. That means in your next life. And third one is indefinite effective Kamma. we cannot say so in which lifetime your karma will get right the effect. But Abhiahmma mentioned another one more, defunct karma. Defunct karma. So that means, so there are some the effect of karma, the result of karma that will not give rise. That will not give rise. Just like the result of karma of an arahant and the Buddha. Venerable Angulimala committed a lot of killing, right? A lot of killing. He accumulated a lot of unwholesome deeds. But after he passes away, after he died, those unwholesome karma will become defunct. No more, no valid, already removed. Abhiahmma mentioned add one more, the effect of karma, defunct karma. Similarly, sometimes we do unwholesome karma. If we are doing a lot of wholesome karma, so that unwholesome karma will become defunct, will be removed, right? We removed. So that's also meaningful one. When we talk about the result of karma, it's not a simple one, very complicated. So therefore, when you look at Achintiya Sutta, in Anguttara Nikaya, chapter 4, Sutta number 77, so we can learn that the result of karma is so complex that the Buddha mentioned it as one of the 4 inconceivable matters. One of the 4 inconceivable matters. So in that Sutta, the Buddha said that if you think about the domain of the Buddhas, what the Buddha can do is inconceivable. If you think about the domain of the Buddha, what the Buddhas can do, it can become, if you are thinking, that subject, you might become mad, you will encounter madness, or you will encounter frustration. That means you cannot know fully. Another one is the domain of the one in jhana. When somebody enter jhana, the domain of the one in jhana is inconceivable. You cannot, it's beyond your knowledge, beyond logic. You may think that you can you sit down in meditation posture for 5 hours? It will be very difficult, right? Very difficult. But somebody enter jhana, he can sit down for 24 hours like that. Right? He can stay without moving, like that. Even now, you're sitting 1.5 hours, moving. Somebody who is in jhana can sit down for many hours without moving, without shaking. So the domain of the one in jhana is inconceivable. If you argue or if you think about the domain of the meditator in jhana, then you might encounter with the madness of frustration, right? So therefore, one of the inconceivable matters. Then third one is the result of karma. So the result of karma is so complex that if you are thinking, if you have a lot of logic, because of that will happen, because of this that will happen. No, cannot do that. So later I will show some of the Sutta, what the Buddha taught. So therefore, So the result of karma also one of the inconceivable matters. Very complicated, very complicated. And the last one is Loṇaphala, calculation about the world. How far is one universe to another, right? Like that. How many universes and how many planets, and what is the nature of ocean, like that. Loṇaphala, right? Very complicated. Even nowadays, the science is very advanced. Even nowadays, so our knowledge about universe is very limited, very limited. So therefore, the Buddha said that Loṇaphala, speculation about the world is inconceivable, one of the inconceivable. So here, what I want to highlight is the result of karma. So therefore, to understand the complex nature of the result of karma, in Pali, Kamma-vibhanga, we have to consider many factors. For that reason, I will quote some of the suttas to explain the result of karma. I hope that you will be able to clear some of the misunderstanding about the karma, the result of karma. Normally, we always say theory of karma. It is not just about karma, it is also the result of karma. Here, Kamma-vibhanga. Kamma means action. Vibhanga means the result. So we are always saying theory of karma. It is just a title. Normally, we should say theory of Kamma-vibhanga. Theory of karma as well as theory of the result of karma, right? So now, when we talk about karma, it's very clear, right? Very clear. Motivation behind our actions. That is karma. But when you talk about the result of karma, it's not that much easy. It's very complicated. So for that, I want to quote some of the sutta. One sutta is Cūḻakamma-vibhanga Sutta. Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 135. So here, in that sutta, we can learn the result of karma and how it works in general. Here, I highlight in general in that sutta. So, when Suba, a young man, young Brahmin, asks why people are short-lived and long-lived, why people are ugly and beautiful, why people are inferior and superior, etc. Actually, the Buddha mentioned somewhat. Actually, he had a series of questions, but I mentioned only a few. And the Buddha gave all the answers. People are short-lived. Short-lived because they care. If you care, you will be short-lived. Singapore killing is not common, right? But when you look at some countries, killing is very daily routine, you know. They are killing each other. Because of that, their lifespan is not long-lived, short-lived, right? So we are talking about the result of karma in general. But you cannot say it is 100% correct in general. So some people allow, actually it indicate the karma in your past life. Karma in your past life. Some people, even though you're living in Singapore, advanced country and rich country, some people are short-lived, right? They die in their early age. Maybe because they have committed killing in their past life. But we cannot say 100%. There are some other causes as well. Later I will learn one sutta. So the Buddha mentioned in general. and long-lived. Some people are long-lived because they do not commit killing in their past life and in this life as well. No? In this life as well. Singapore, peaceful. Japan, peaceful. No? So therefore, long-lived. Long-lived. Maybe people here, they did not commit killing in their past life. But that logic is not 100% correct. No? So there are many causes, some other causes, because of that you become long-lived. No? Long-lived. So here, some people are ugly. Some people are beautiful. Different people, right? So the Buddha said that people are ugly because of anger, because of hatred, because of hatred. It's logical, right? In general, logical. Yeah. Even though some people are beautiful, but when they have a lot of anger and irritation and hatred in their mind, they become ugly, right? Normally, actually, this sutta indicate the karma in their past life. So that means if you are angry, if you have a lot of anger, if you have a lot of hatred, resentment in this life, so that karma will determine your future life, right? So it became ugly. Beautiful, opposite. If you practice loving kindness and compassion, altruistic joy, you become beautiful, right? You become beautiful. And some people have little some people have a little companion, no? Companion. Some people have a lot of companion, right? And the Buddha said that people who have a lot of jealousy cannot congratulate the success of other people, right? Always have a lot of jealousy, avarice, then they have less companion, right? It's quite clear, right? If you have a lot of jealousy, then you're trying to tell others, this person is not good. This person is not good, like that, right? Then you become less companion, like that. Some people are inferior, some are superior. So the Buddha said that inferior and superior. In terms of, the Buddha said that in terms of birth, in terms of birth, some people are inferior and some are superior. And the Buddha talked about because of conceit, because of arrogant mind. Some become inferior. If you do not have conceit in mana in your mind, so you become superior in your next life, like that. So the Buddha gave all these answers. And some people are wise, are intelligent, some people are not. The Buddha said that you become wise and intelligent because you always approach to the wise people and ask the question. So here there are some students who always ask the question, So they are, they're thinking a lot, right? What can I ask? What should I know further? It's the way to become the wise person, right? If you approach the wise people and ask questions, you will become the wise man in your future life. Not only in the future life, even in this life, right? Even in this life. So what I want to say is, in Cūḻakamma-vibhanga Sutta, the Buddha talk about the result of karma in general. So that means it is not 100% correct. So later I will highlight this point. Then after answering all these, giving all these answers, the Buddha said that beings are owners of their kammas. All beings are owner of their kamma, heir of their kammas. They have kamma at their origin. You are handsome, you are beautiful because of your kamma. You are intelligent because of your kamma. You're rich because of your kamma. Right? So the kamma here did not indicate just past karma, but also present karma, right? Present karma as well. Karma as their relative, karma as their result. So here is important line. It is karma that distinguish beings as inferior and superior. Some are high, some are low, right? So here inferior, superior here me. Inferior me in terms of beauty, in terms of property, in terms of intelligence, like that. So the karma that distinguish beings, whether they are inferior or superior, whether they are rich or poor, right? Whether they are intelligent or not intelligent. So therefore, the karma play an important role to distinguish beings, right? Very, I think, beautiful teaching, very beautiful teaching. Okay, any question? Okay. I see.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yeah.
My question is, Buddha has gotten his toe injured, and he's already a Buddha, already past Arahant, clear defilements, no karma violation. But he said, and he found that it was his past karma that his cousin, is it, that he injured one of his lifetime. So this karma, how do we classify? Because the question is, he is already a Buddha, enlightenment one. That was somewhere I read about in the Dhammapada.
He injured because of actions of his cousin.
He got an injury in his toe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know the
Because of
story. Yes.
Nibbedhika.
So I want to know, how do we classify this karma? Unripened karma, past karma, or why he being a Buddha, he should have cleared all his defilements and passed through the Four Noble Truths? And why is he still having this injury? I just
Injury and suffering.
Yes.
We call it karma in general, right? Normally it's the result of karma. Kamma-vibhanga, the result. The Buddha got injury by action of Venerable Devadatta. The harm, the Buddha got injury because the Buddha is human being. He will still suffer the result of karma, the result of karma. Like in normal person, right? As long as the Buddha has nama rupa, mind and body, he will suffer. Like when the Buddha do not eat the food, he will be hungry. Like a normal person, right? The Buddha have a baggage because the Buddha sit down for long hours to breathe the Dhamma. So therefore, the Buddha always say, the Buddha sometimes say, Sariputta, come and teach the Dhamma on behalf of me. I have a baggage. I want to take a rest. So baggage, because the Buddha sit down for long hours, right? So we can say that it's a present karma, right? Present karma, present action. So the Buddha will suffer, and great disciples also will suffer their past karma, because they still have body and mind, right? Nama rupa. So therefore, when you look at from the opinion of other religion, the Buddha is not perfect. They always say the Buddha is just human being. Why you are believing him as a God? They always say that. No, the Buddha is not a God. Not a God. We pay homage to the Buddha, and we take refuge. We take refuge, right? We take refuge to the Buddha just because he gave valuable teachings. That's all, He gave valuable teachings. Because of that, we are taking refuge to him. So, the Buddha is just human being, right? Human being. There's nothing to hide. Pali Canon clearly mentioned the Buddha will baggage after sitting for a long time. The Buddha has constipation. The Buddha has constipation. It's mentioned in the Nibbedhika. Then the Buddha has diarrhea, right? Diarrhea, after eating pork curry, pork curry. Very natural, right? So there's nothing to hide, So therefore, Pali Canon, especially the suttas, they normally do not hide anything. Like a sickness, diarrhea, constipation, injury. These are negative, right? So other religions, they may want to hide. So their God is perfect, right? The Buddha became perfect after passing away, after he died. Perfect, no more rebirth. No more rebirth. And no rebirth, no aging, no death. No death. That's perfect, right? That's perfect. Okay. Any one question?
In one of the slides, you showed defunct karma. When does karma become defunct karma?
Defunct me. I already gave the example of Venerable Angulimala, right?
Yes.
So he killed a lot of people. Even after he became a monk, people beat him and people throw stone to him. He injured, right? The blood came out from his head. Then, even after he became an arahant, still suffer the result of that karma, right? Still suffer, even an arahant. But after he died, no more rebirth. No more rebirth. No rebirth, no namarupa. So there's no way to suffer his previous karma. So therefore, after an arahant died, his earlier karma, whether wholesome or unwholesome, they became defunct.
So it becomes not effective.
No
it's
effective.
Not going to produce any vipaka.
You're right.
No. Okay,
But
thank you.
for other people also, similarly, right? So later I will show you this sutta, lamp of salt. After we have done unwholesome action, if we have a lot of wholesome actions, those became defunct. Lamp of salt, we call it Loṇaphala Sutta, in Nikaya, chapter 3, Sutta number 100. So this is one of the very beautiful suttas. It tells us two important points with regard to the result of karma. Two important points. And you should also take note. Number one, a person need not experience the result of karma in precisely the same way that he created it. That's a very important concept in Buddhism. So that means people think that if you kill a person, you'll be killed in your next life. No, it's not. Of course, if you kill a person, you might be killed, even in this life. But the Buddha do not want to say in such a way. When you are killing a person, that person will experience unpleasant feeling. Then you also will have unpleasant experience as a result of your killing. It doesn't mean if you kill, you'll be killed. No. You cannot say like that. You cannot say like that. This is one concept in Buddhism. Actually, it's a wrong concept in Buddhism, both in Mahayana as well as the Theravada, every Buddhism, every school, because we have a lot of stories, especially in the commentaries, saying that in one commentary explanation, one person, a Brahmin killed a goat, and he suffered for 500 years, 500 lives. I think some of you may have heard of this story. This story can found in Theravada literature as well as in Mahayana literature. You can Google Little Buddha in. So there is that talk about the story of a Brahmin who killed a goat. So that means that story influences our way of thinking to talk about the result of karma. If you kill, you will suffer many lives. No, this is a wrong concept. If you kill, you might be killed, or you might not be killed. So therefore, a person need not experience the result of karma in precisely the same way that he created it. So that means if you steal, you will be stolen like that. No, it's not like that. So look at this one. A person experiences karma that is to be experienced in a particular way. So that means he will experience the result of karma precisely in that way. Then I will give you an example. Wholesome karma yields pleasant result. Unwholesome karma produce painful result. If you kill, then you might be killed. One scenario. Another scenario, you might not be killed, but you will experience unpleasant feeling, unpleasant experience in your life. If you steal the property of other people, your property might be stolen. Or, most importantly, you will experience unpleasant feeling in your life. You may have a regret in your mind, right? I have stolen this, I have stolen that, like that. So that's very important. If you say, if I kill, I'll be killed, that's a wrong concept, If you steal, your property will be stolen. It's a wrong concept. So when you are doing unwholesome things, you experience, the other party experience unpleasant feeling, right? You will undergo the same unpleasant things in your life. So that is the one concept. Another one is, some people has created a trifling karma, a little karma, but it leads them to hell, a happy destination, because they do not have much meritorious deed. if you do not have a lot of meritorious deed, even you do a very trifling karma, a very small karma, you will lead to a happy destination. That's very important, right? In other way, some people has created exactly the same trifling karma, yet it is to be expedient in this very life, to be expedient, the result of karma in this very life, without a slight residue for next life, as they have done much meritorious deed. In this life, you have done trifling karma, small karma. You will suffer in this life, but the result of that karma will not follow you next life. So they're without a slight residue for next life. So they are doing the same karma, a trifling karma. And the first one will lead to a happy destination, hell, or animal realm, or Pitta realm, because he has less meritorious deed. But some people do the same unwholesome deed, trifling unwholesome karma, but he will suffer in this life, then the result of unwholesome karma will not follow next life, because he have done much meritorious deed. So therefore, I always say that no need to worry, because we may have done unwholesome karma in our life. Don't worry, just do wholesome karma. Then the Buddha said, this is what the Buddha taught in that sutta. Here, bhikkhus, some people has created trifling bad karma, yet it lead him to hell. Why some other people has created exactly the same trifling karma, yet it is to be expedient in this life without even a slight residue being seen, much less abundant residue for next life. They do the same trifling karma, right? Because of their former good and bad deed, it became different. So the Buddha gave a simile of a lamp of salt. I think if you see this picture, I think many of you have already learned, but it's a good thing to know. This is a very good theory of karma in Buddhism. You can see that a glass of water, you can drink if you are thirsty, right? But if you put lamp of salt into that cup of water, can you drink? Undrinkable, It will become very salty. Water in the cup indicate your good deed. Lamp of salt indicate unwholesome deed. So if your unwholesome deed is much bigger than wholesome deed, then it is undrinkable, like a salt in the water, right? So similarly, if you have a less meritorious deed, even you do a trifling bad karma, it might lead to happy destinations. A lot of water in the river, then you put the same amount of salt into the river, and you starve thoroughly. Can you drink? It will not make any difference, It will not make much difference because a lot of water. Water indicate good deed in your mind. So for that, as you have a lot of good deed, and trifling bad karma will not make any difference. But you still suffer as a result of that in this life. But it will not follow next life. So this sutta talk about two important points regarding with the result of karma. One, you need not experience the same, the result of karma, precisely the same action that you do. No, you need not be, you might encounter the same result of karma, the same action, but you might not, may or may not, may or may not. And second one is, if you have a lot of meritorious deed, even you do unwholesome deed, it will not make any difference. If you do not have much meritorious deed, if you do even small amount of bad deed, then it will lead to a happy destination. Okay, any question regarding with this sutta? Okay, no question. Then we'll go to another sutta. We call it Paṭṭhāna Sutta. Paṭṭhāna Sutta. 3 Satiryan wrong teachings. 3 types of Satiryan wrong teachings. So, by referring to this sutta, Abhiahmma, Venerable Abhiahmma, write in his A Guide to Buddhism A to Z. So this is a very good book for teachers. A Guide to Buddhism A to Z. If you want to know something, go to that book. It's very clear. And also you will find, references. Very good book. So now we will study Paṭṭhāna Sutta. So before that, I want to explain what the Venerable Abhiahmma said. Determinism, Nibbedhika in Bāla, is the belief that an individual's destiny is fixed. Your destiny is fixed. That he or she must act accordingly. So that means you cannot change your destiny. If you are destined to die in your 50, you cannot change like that. If you are destined to become divorced, as I said, like that, you cannot change like that. So that is called determinism, like that, Nibbedhika. So in this sutta, Paṭṭhāna Sutta, the Buddha talk about 2 types of determinism. So the first one is karmic determinism, Paṭṭhāna hetu. So everything we experience, whether they are pleasant, painful, or neutral, is due to our past karma. That is how we have acted in the past life, in the past. Whether you are, whatever you are happening right now, whether pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, anything happened because of your past karma. This is also one of the wrong view. Even Buddhist, right? We have this wrong view. Something happened, something bad happened, bad things, bad happen in your life. Oh, my past karma. Something, a good karma, a good things happen in your life. Oh, this is my good karma. I may have done a good things in my past life, right? This is one of the wrong views. Normally, we Buddhists normally have this type of wrong view. Of course, the karma, past karma, play an important role, but not just that one. If you just say, this is caused by our past karma, no, it's wrong view. The Buddha said, very important one. The number 2 is theistic determinism, Aisara Nimana Hetu, theistic determinism. Creator, the eternal creator God. So God knows and controls everything, and thus has determined everything before it has happened. God created everything. God arranged everything for you. You cannot change it. You have to believe that this is the will of the God, Creator God. So here we say that Creator, it means including the devas, We Buddhists believe a lot of deities, right? A lot of deities, Things happen in your life is happen because of deities, like that. Also included here. So, of course, most religions, they have this wrong view, theistic determinism. According to the Buddha, both these ideas are not just forced, but also pernicious, dangerous. Determinism means that individual cannot choose one cause or action over another, cannot make an effort to change anything, is not responsible for anything he or she does. So that means including after you have done something wrong, if you believe certain creator, God, then all these unwholesome actions will be wiped out, deleted. It's also a kind of wrong view. So therefore, as Dhammika writes beautifully, such a belief can only lead to an activity. What can I do? It is my past karma. What can I do? It's my past karma. I cannot change it, like that. So, an activity. You will not do any active part in your life. So the Sutta say, you will not have any desire to change it. You will not make any effort to change it. So there will be no place of the Noble Eightfold Path. So there will be no place of Noble Eightfold Path. So that means if you think that it is because of your past karma, if you kill, if you steal, you can say that, what can I do? My past karma. I'm destined to become a killer, a theft, because of my past karma, If somebody commits sexual misconduct, oh, this is my past karma, how can I change? Like that. So the Buddha said in the Suttas. So you can read Tayatayana Sutta. It's very beautiful, very beautiful. Another one is irresponsibility. You will not take responsibility because of this. Don't blame me. It is the will of God. This is the will of God. I'm killed. Oh, I became a killer. The will of God. I became poor. The will of God. Right? So actually in other religions, they always say like that, There is a responsibility. You will not take responsibility of your karma, your action, right? Your action. So, an activity and responsibility. So this is a determinism. You cannot change it. The first one is because of past karma. Second one is the will of God, the will of Creator God. And the last one is non-causality. Ahetu apacchaya. Everything happens without a cause or condition. Everything cause or condition. You are rich, you are poor, without any reason. Because you were born in a rich family like that. Right? You are intelligent, some are not, without any cause. Some are handsome, some are beautiful, without any cause. It happened randomly, without any cause, right? No causality. It's not so. Everything has the cause, right? The cause. It can be the cause in our past life. It can be the cause in this life, right now, like that. So this doctrine is as well ascribed to Magli Sīla. So if you want to know, you can go and read Digha Nikaya, Sutta number 2, Sammanyaphala Sutta. So Magli Sīla said that. So there's no condition, there's no cause. Beings are purifying, beings are defined. No cause. There's no cause, no the result of karma, whether you are doing good or bad. You have to undergo, he said, you have to undergo 8,400,000 eons of lifetime. Whether you're doing good or bad deed, you have to undergo those samsara life. After those experience, after those lifetime, then it will be samsara will be end. So, non-causality. Actually, here also, some of the communists, like some of the scientists, they have this non-causality wrong view. We are here without any reason, without any cause. We are here randomly, like that. So, do whatever you want. There's no afterlife, After we die, that's all. You're finished, Non-causality, right? Non-causality. So that's the cause behind our actions. Behind the result of our karma. So therefore, when you study Daittayarana Sutta, so we can learn 3 types of wrong views. So actually these wrong views are connected with the karma, right? Connected with the karma. So if you say that whatever happened in your life, that's because of your past karma, it is not 100% correct. If you just say it is because of past karma, it's a wrong view. If you say that something in your life, something happened in your life, whether it's good or bad, it is because of the will of the God, Creator God, also wrong view. If you say that they happen without any cause and condition, also wrong view. So therefore, according to Buddhism, actions, your action, motivation behind your action play an important role, right? So this is a theory of karma and the result of karma. So later, we will learn more things about theory of karma. If you want, you can ask one question if you want. Okay, can. Sorry, can you use?
I just wonder, the wrong views, can I say this person actually has the poisons of ignorance? That's why their actions will never make them realize that it is a wrong view?
You're right, ignorance. Because of ignorance, wrong view arise. Yeah. And you have a question?
Yeah, but I'm just trying to correlate the theory of the lump of salt and the water. I mean, if river amount of water equals to good deeds that can overcome the trifling unwholesome karma, then why is it that we have a situation where, for example, a person is very rich, but he is short-lived, for example, like two opposite things happening at the same time?
Yeah.
Or, what do you call it? Yeah, I mean, that's one example. I mean, if that means by being rich, probably he has done quite a number of good deeds. But then at the same time, being short-lived is also like there's a bad karma that's happening.
Bad karma.
Yeah. So how does those good deeds and bad deeds being interrelated, overriding each other in the theory of a lump of salt? Yeah,
actually, we have mixed the result of karma, because we are doing sometimes good things, sometimes bad things, right? So they will give rise different result of karma. So in your example, the rich man is a rich man, but he lived short life. So he may, of course, we cannot say because of his past karma. It can be because of the present karma in this life. Somebody very rich, he enjoying a lot of, he enjoying food, delicious food. Because of that, he have diabetes, but he's still trying to eat, right? That's a present karma. Of course, most probably, past karma also will play an important role. Because of that, short-lived, right? Some people, they die when they're very young, But some people may be very rich. Maybe may have done, he or she will do a lot of unwholesome deed, including killing to other people. Then he is killed. Even though he enjoys life, he is killed, then he died very young. So, so here this glass of water, this theory just mentioned, trying to balance, between how to say the result of karma. So therefore, in Buddhism, we have one teaching that if you do some wholesome deed, then it might lengthen your lifespan. Therefore, some people donate medicine, and some people donate, the bridge like that. Some people donate some good deed that way, like a tree, donated in the tree like that. It will lengthen their lifespan. So even though we do unwholesome deed, if we do more good deed, then it will change, our, the result of karma might change. So this seemingly indicate maybe, how can I say? Of course, anyway, we have to do more good deed. So if we do more good deed, then the negative karma cannot give rise negative effect. Okay, so that's all. Time is up. So let's call it a day. Yo varatam bhava o manu jesu sakya muni bhagava gata kecho paragato Bāla vidiya samangi dan sukatan saranata mupemi rakavi rakamani jamasokan dhamma masangata mapatikulan madurami mambaguna suvipadan dhammami mansaranata mupemi yatacha nama apalamahu Chatusu sisu buddhisa yogesu atacha bogala dhammadasate Sangami Mansara Natamupemi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everyone.